In this video we will understand Unit 3, Masculinities. Let's start. 1. Introduction. The women's movement started with women as leaders and beneficiaries. Progress was slow, and it only focused on one side of the issue. Realized the need to include men in women's empowerment. Understand masculinity's impact on both men and women. Goal. Change societal attitudes and expectations about gender. 2. Why talk of masculinity? Boys and men learn gender roles and behaviors conforming to societal expectations. Example. Toys and games assigned to boys and girls. Gender roles observed in the family and society influence children. Kamala Bhasin's view, gender issues involve both men and women. And men dominate due to societal hierarchy. Men and boys also face stereotypes due to patriarchal culture. Need for men to address gender issues because they affect both genders. Socioeconomic changes challenge traditional male supremacy, leading to frustration, violence, drug abuse, and alcoholism. Women's demand for equality requires the support of men, freeing them from patriarchal constraints. 3. Definition of masculinity. Masculinity defined as socially constructed traits associated with men, e.g., strength, aggressiveness. Different societies have different expectations of masculinity. Masculinity is not static over time in geography. Masculinity varies among individuals based on factors like caste, class, race, and sexuality. Different masculinities are affected by a societal power structure that endorses male dominance. Masculinism justifies male superiority. Androgyny refers to having both male and female traits. 4. Understanding masculinity. Masculinity cannot be understood without considering femininity. Masculinity and femininity are socially constructed and not biologically determined. Some universally accepted masculine and feminine traits are listed. Boys are expected to be aggressive, while girls are expected to be submissive, reinforcing each other. Gendered socialization prefers different behaviors for boys and girls. Masculinity is influenced by age, religion, caste, class, race, ethnicity, and sexuality. Masculinity defines relationships between men and women and even between different groups of men. 5. Masculinity construct. Masculinity is not biological. It's not determined by physiology or hormones. Men exhibit different traits in various situations, showing that masculinity is influenced by power dynamics and hierarchy. Masculinism supports male dominance and distinctive male values and traits. Androgyny involves having both male and female traits. 6. Forms of masculinities. Connell's discussion of different forms of masculinities. Hegemonic masculinity is dominant and supports male dominance over women. Subordinated masculinity exists between groups of men, e.g., gay men are subordinated to straight men. Complicit masculinity. Most men indirectly benefit from hegemonic masculinity. Marginalized masculinity involves interactions between dominant and subordinated masculinities, influenced by factors like class, race, or caste. 7. Patriarchy and masculinity. Patriarchy and masculinity are related but different concepts. Patriarchy represents systematic male dominance through societal institutions. Masculinities pertain to individual or small group actions, behaviors. Understanding masculinity helps free men from patriarchal constraints. Patriarchy and masculinity coexist and support each other, as men compete to benefit from their inherited masculinities. 8. Masculinity and violence against women. Men use violence to control women in patriarchal societies. Domestic violence is prevalent, often normalized and accepted by women. Violence shapes gender identities in children. Violent masculinity leads to violence against women. Violence is used as a means of punishment and control in patriarchal societies. 9. Sexuality and masculinity. Masculinity, aggression, and control affect sexual relationships. Male sexuality, aggression, and violence are interconnected. Male aggression is reflected in language and expressions. Violence is used to punish women for not complying with sexual advances. Violent masculinity leads to sexual harassment and rape. 10. Role of media. Media influences the perception of masculinity and femininity. Electronic media has a strong impact on these constructs. Media often portrays men as aggressive and macho. Advertisements and TV shows reinforce gender stereotypes. Media contributes to the normalization of aggressive masculinity and shapes young boys' perceptions.